pivots over props. Okay, so last week we worked on getting the dogs to put their front feet on things. So this week we're going to take that and we're going to build on it. So this is one of the exercises that we do where the dog puts their front feet on something. And basically the idea is to just isolate their front feet. So I've chosen to use an exercise disc. You can use anything that you can get your dog to put their feet on that they can rotate around. Because once their feet are on it, we're going to ask them to pivot around it. So something that's round or something that's square will work the best. Something that's a little bit up off the ground, not too much off the ground, but you can use a very low flower pot, you can use a pillow, you can use inflatable disc. Any of those things will work. You can use, what we've done is we've used old phone books that we've wrapped in duct tape so we have traction on them, and we've used those. But the first thing I'm going to do is ask my dog to put his feet up here, and as we taught last week, our feet command for the front feet are called paws. Paws. Good. Good boy. Okay. Paws. Yay! Very nice. And now I'm standing directly across from him, and one of the things I want to do is I want to encourage him to pivot. Right? So what I'm going to do is hold my cookie in front of me and start moving in toward him. Yay! And then he moves his little butt. And when I first teach them this, I start rewarding for even the slightest, yes, motion. Once they start to get the idea, I start to ask for more motion and more pivoting. Good boy. Good boy. And I'm always going to reward over top of my prop so I can keep their head and their front feet in position. So pretty soon your dog will be doing this quite easily. Good boy. Good boy. Yeah, if your dog is having a really hard time with it, you could use a more stable prop. If your dog is an athlete and been doing stuff like this for a while, you can use something like this balance disc. So this is the first part of the exercise for this week, and that is just to get your dog up onto something and get them to move their rear end. From that part, we're going to then add some challenge to this, and we're going to add something for them to step over. So that's our second part of this week's exercise, and let's find something that we can get our dogs to step over. What I've chosen, we call these jump bumps, and now you can use a pool noodle, you could use a rolled up yoga mat. It doesn't need to be, this is a piece of PVC, it's been cut in half, but it doesn't need to be that sophisticated a piece of equipment. And what I'm going to ask him to do, yes, is step over it. Okay? It needs to be something that's at least 2 inches off the ground. Yes. So you could use a piece of wood. You could use a piece, a branch from a tree. But we're just looking for him to step over that. And fall over. Yay. Good boy. So you can see him consciously stepping over this. So not only am I now asking him to isolate his front end, but I'm also asking him to pivot and do something with his rear end. Now I can tell you right off the bat that this dog is much smoother going clockwise than counterclockwise. And I don't know if you can see that from your angle or not, but this direction is a little bit harder for him. And your dogs are going to have one direction that's a little bit easier and one direction going to be a little bit harder because your dog, just like you, has a dominant side. Yeah, good boy. And I just used my leg a little bit to help him on that one. Good boy. Yes. Good job. One more. So I'm using my leg. There we go. Just to help him out a little bit. Okay? So you're going to do this and probably do about a dozen in each direction. You don't have to keep going all the way around. It'll make you dizzy. You can just do little quarter turns, right? And what you're looking for is you're looking for your dog to be consciously picking up their feet to step over whatever's behind them. Take this exercise in the 2 parts as I delivered it. So first teach them to get onto the prop with their front feet and be able to pivot, and then put the prop down on the ground to have them step over it. That'll make it easiest for you. Good luck and have fun with that one.